Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover. One that takes us back to Benzino, who recently went off on Angela Martinez and Busta Rhymes over his daughter Coyle Ray. But things aren't going as planned for Benzino right now, as he's getting sauteed on the internet, as he's reminded of his role with Eminem, and we'll get to more on this in a moment. Today we also have what looks to be peak irony when it comes to Rick Ross versus 50 Cent, as while Rick Ross mocked 50 Cent when he claimed 50 needs a job and he's not hiring right now, well, these comments were made around the time he released his collab album with Meek Mill, and the first week projections are in, and right now it is safe to say the universe chose to reveal its sense of humor and irony, and we'll expand on this at the latter part of the video. So starting with Benzino, his daughter Coyle Ray was recently interviewed on the Angela Martinez podcast, and Benzino wasn't happy about some of the comments Coyle Ray made about her relationship with her dad, and here's a snippet of his reaction to the interview.
I supported Coy want to do music because that's all she's ever been around. She's only been around studios when she was doing music, and I wasn't necessarily with her being half naked on Instagram or talking about certain subjects she did in her music. But, you know, that don't mean that I didn't want her to do music. I thought she was gonna go to college. I didn't see her in that light. But she's very successful and proud of her. I know Angie Martinez doesn't like me. I don't like her either. You know what I'm saying? But to sit there and interview my daughter and manipulate the situation, she knew what she was doing. Respectful, but she was wrong. She's a woman too, so an older woman, so she should have knew better. You don't play with people's kids, and that's what's so disheartening about this. You know, a lot of people doing, you know, the whole Busta Rhymes collaboration. Like, he should have reached out to me. Like, you know, you don't do no video with my daughter half naked, and you know, you a grown fucking man. He should have reached out to me and said something. But it is what it is. You know, she's grown. She can do what she wants. But I wasn't with that.
And he concluded that all he can do is have his opinions, because once they reach a certain age, it doesn't matter what his opinions are. And he also briefly spoke about how the internet is killing his family when it comes to bonding and communication. However, the internet isn't having this from Benzino, as some are wondering how the F you get mad when you raise her like that, laughing emoji. She's 26, he needs to throw in the towel, and you could argue that at that time, he was more worried about threatening Eminem's daughter Haley rather than raising his daughter. And here are some lyrics from his early Eminem diss. Tell Haley it ain't safe no more. Daddy better watch your back at the candy store. You effed up, resort to plan B. F around, she end up like John Bonet Ramsey.
You don't play with people's kids, and that's what's so disheartening about this, you know.
And now in 2023, clearly, he was more worried about the wrong daughter, and some have reacted with nailing the coffin and the caption, "Senior citizen needs to sit down." And the fact that he dragged Busta into this isn't going well, a user expanded. Busta Rhymes doesn't need your daughter. That man has lived and achieved every greatness your daughter dreams to achieve someday. And another user expanded on how Coyle Ray has shared lewd photos online long before the Busta collab. How can you be mad when she posts thirst traps for a living? Loudly crying emojis. And while he's worried about Coyle Ray exposing her body as an adult, this was a recurring point to highlight some irony. Eminem made Benzino do OnlyFans. And more on this note, Eminem made Benzino do OnlyFans, enough said. But believe it or not, Benzino's quote black card is already getting revoked. Time to stop all these non-black rappers from using black culture, since white guy Benzino doing this to Busta Rhymes. Everyone is trying to play us cause they mad they not black and imitating blacks to make money and destroy the black community, and she be half naked everywhere. Benzino's white? I had no idea. Interesting. Moving on, when 50 Cent sold out his 35,000 show in Paris, France, Rick Ross fired shots in an interview about how 50 Cent isn't making money and 50 needs a job but he ain't hiring. Now keep that number in mind, because Meek Mill recently shared this about his recent collab album album with Rick Ross. It says me and Ross on pace to sell 35,000 first week. I would post if it said 350,000. I'm too nice and rich to be rapping in a controlled music environment. That's why we dropping music on Fridays. It doesn't make sense. Now we all own our music. We get in the tech builds to put people on our own musical subscriptions, and we gon' let direct to consumer see if rap is doing well. So clearly Meek Mill is doing damage control over the 35,000 number, but not everyone is buying his excuses. Bro made a mid album and got the results that's deserved. Y'all was chatting the whole album, and it has no replay value in my opinion. Meek make better albums by himself to be honest, and then Drake and Ross collabs are 10 times better than every track on here. I was excited to hear this too. Damn. He talks about how they own the music, which is certainly great, but like Royce rapped on Upside Down, everybody talking about they own their masters, but if the music don't age well, it don't matter. It is like you own 100% of nothing. So if the fan reception is bad and it falls off a cliff after the first week, it doesn't matter if Rick Ross and Meek own 100%. And some concluded it is a flop, shrugs and laughing emojis, and Rick Ross is getting more of the blame. Ross is okay for features, but not a full album. You still got it, but should have made it with a new artist or someone at least trending, or should have done a solo album with a bunch of features. I F with your other music for the most part, but this album wasn't it. This is why Ross was called out for going at 50 Cent right now. It was horrible timing when 50's final lap tour crossed 1 million sold just days after the announcement, and now Meek is doing damage control for projected first week sales of 35,000. And here's a fun fact before we end it. G-Unit's Beg for Mercy, that turns 20 today, is more successful than any Rick Ross album released to date in the US and internationally. Thanks for watching, share your thoughts below and see you on the next one.